Hi, I'm Gary Zacharias. I've been an English teacher on the high school level as well as the college level, a professor out of Palomar College, an English professor, teach all levels of composition. And I want to welcome you to some of these YouTube tutorials. I hope they're going to be helpful for you. I've got a list of ones that I want to get to eventually, talking about paragraphs. We'll spend some time on that. Talk about essay writing, and then get down to grammar and some of the small stuff as well. So let me tell you what I'm doing here. I'm basing it on a book, if you can see that, and it's available in PDF form. You're welcome to get a copy. It's 8th edition, so I've gone through all sorts of changes with this. And this is what I used when I taught out at Palomar, a class in basic composition and basic writing, as well as grammar. English Essentials is what it's called. So the book is free, and I hope you get something out of it. I'm on page 2, and so I'm going to kind of work my way through the book and talk to you about it as we go through. And I wanted to emphasize, first of all, that what's being taught in here is called academic writing. So it's not the kind of thing that you send emails off, or you put a note in the refrigerator that says stay out of the dessert, that's for later today. That's not academic writing, that's just casual writing. But there's a special kind of writing that's required when you're in college. It's a more precise kind of English, something that is clear of errors, it's organized well, and things like that. Now, are you going to use it all the time? Do you need this book all the time, whenever you write? No, absolutely not. You might think of it like this. Years ago, I had several that were called manual transmission. You probably don't even see any of those anymore. All cars are automatics. You just put it in drive and there you go. But we used to have cars that had what was called stick shift, and it would have, the old one was an H pattern. It was first gear, second gear, up and out to third gear and down to fourth gear. Some were just 3 speeds and in reverse. So could you drive that car with one of the gears missing? Yeah, you could. It wouldn't be pleasant. If you had first gear out, you had to start and the car was not happy. It finally got going. If you had fourth gear that was missing, you also had a problem because you couldn't go very fast because the engine started going, and it was not happy that way either, but you could drive it. Now, compare that to English. Can you get by in life without academic writing? Yes, you can. The problem is there are going to be those opportunities where you really need it, just like driving that stick shift car. Or here's another illustration. You have a home and you only have a hammer and a pair of pliers. Maybe 1 screwdriver. Okay, let's add that. So you got one pair of pliers, 1 screwdriver, 1 hammer. Can you get things done around the house? Yeah, a lot of things, but can you get everything done? No, there are going to be some occasions where you're going to have to go buy or rent some specific tools to get certain things done. Here's a third illustration, Legos. Okay, so if you're a kid and you collected Legos, you needed certain kinds of Legos. You could get by with basic sets of Legos and just kind of build nondescript things, but if you wanted to build a car, for instance, you had to have the wheels and you had to have the axles and everything that hooked on there. So English is like that. What I'm teaching in these YouTube videos and what's in the book here, what I'm teaching is academic writing, which will pay off under certain circumstances. So on page 2, I mentioned some of the circumstances. I said, how about impressing other people? Now that sounds kind of silly. Oh, really? I'm going to use English to impress others? Yes, you are. Don't you want to impress people when you show up for a job? Maybe they'll ask you to write a cover letter with your job application. Wouldn't that be nice to impress them? It's clean English, it's clear English, it's said well, it sings. It doesn't just have words on the page, but it actually is nicely done. Maybe to move ahead in your job. Let's say you get the job. Don't you want to be the one that moves ahead? So when you send the note out to your boss, when you write up a proposal, whatever it is, wouldn't it be nice that you actually could use clear and succinct English? Sure, that's where academic writing comes in again. How about this one? Doing well in your other classes. If you have classes coming ahead, not just English classes, but I'm talking any class that's going to require you to do some writing. So it might be a health ed, it might be a psychology class, could be history. A lot of these teachers are going to expect you to write. Now, are they going to sit around and worry about your grammar? No, most of them won't. But here's the deal. they're going to love it. If you write clear English, if you have good topic sentences, if you have a thesis, if you have support, they'll just fall in love with that. They'll say, you know, your ideas may not be really terrific, but wow, I can clearly follow what you're up to. So clarity and organizational skills, all of that is so powerful when you're writing. I hate to say it too, but one value of this kind of academic writing is that people will judge you by your writing. Now, does that seem fair? Maybe not. But I'm sorry, that's the way English goes. You meet somebody, and they're going to hear the words coming out of your mouth, they're going to see what you've written down, and if it's any kind of a serious situation, they're going to start by judging your writing ability. Can you write whatever is the accepted norm for the educated population? So I think those are some good reasons to consider handling this academic writing and being serious about it. And can you go to other websites? Sure, there are a ton of websites that you can consider. TAMU is one, Texas A&M University, tamu.edu. They have a really good writing guide there. If you just type in writing guide TAMU, you'll find it. Another one is OWL, O-W-L, at Purdue University. It's the Online Writing Lab, OWL. And they'll give you all sorts of good information. But if you just struggle with something like what we're going to cover, let's say splices. We're going to do splices later on. If you struggle with splices, type in. You don't have to go to these sites. Just type in help with English splices. You'll be bombarded with websites that will give you good places to go to, or they'll have all sorts of exercises right there. And they'll give you instant feedback. They'll say, is this a splice? And you'll say yes, and they'll say right, and here's why. Or you'll say no, and they'll say, oh, it was a splice, and here are the reasons. So please, I hope you can use what I'm giving you, but consider going to other places as well. Okay, so that's just my intro. Can we talk first of all about writing good paragraphs? Well, I've got information on topic sentences. That's page 3. We're going to break down paragraph writing into 3 skills. Writing good paragraphs means you have a good opener sentence, that's called a topic sentence. You have good support, that's the heart, that's the meat, that's the guts of your paragraph. And then you have a good concluding sentence. So those 3 aspects. So let's start, number 1, talk about a good topic sentence. So I'm on page 3 if you want to follow along there. What's a topic sentence? Well, hey, look at the name. It's a topic sentence, which means that it's going to give you the topic for the paragraph, right? So that's the first thing it's going to do. Are you going to talk about your cat? Are you going to talk about a job you held? Are you going to talk about your mom? Are you going to talk about a place you went to for fun one time? That's your topic. That gets introduced in your very first sentence. Don't make the reader guess what this paragraph is about. So it gives the topic, but that's not enough. For example, here's in the paragraph under topic sentence on page 3, it says, here's an example. I went to the Del Mar Fair. Well, that is a topic, isn't it? It's your trip to that fair. If you're not in the Southern California area, there's a big fair in Del Mar every summer. Okay, so you say, I went to the fair. Fine, that's certainly your topic, but what's it missing? Any ideas? It doesn't have any clue as to what you want to communicate about that trip to the fair. Did you have a good time? Did you have a bad time? What specifically did you do while you're at the fair? So I follow in here with some possible better topic sentences. How about this? I had a great time watching the horse show at the Del Mar Fair. Do you see how that is now telling you, I had a great time? There's your direction. Oh, okay, this is going to be nothing but positives. Or number 2, when I went to the Del Mar Fair, I couldn't believe how much the prices had jumped on everything I wanted to buy. This one's going to be very heavy data oriented, isn't it? A lot of information, and it's going to be this shock and surprise of the ticket prices or the food prices or whatever it is that you wanted to buy at the fair, some kind of trinkets. The price jump, that's the direction this paragraph would be on. How about third one here? My brother drove me crazy yesterday when we went to the fair. Oh, okay. It's still about the topic of the Del Mar Fair, but this time your brother drove you crazy. So we're going to hear all sorts of stories about your brother and all the nutty things that brother did. How about number 4? I ate the weirdest food yesterday when I went to the fair. I don't know if anybody else has gone to the fair, but boy, they have some odd things. Usually it's super rich. It kind of makes my stomach flip. They'll take a perfectly good product and and dip it in some kind of lard or butter or fat or something and deep fry it. You know they have deep fried Twinkies at the fair? Oh my word, deep fry. I mean, Twinkie is enough to send you into a sugar coma, but then they deep fry it. Wow. Anyway, I mean, did you see what's going on there? You said, I ate weird food. There's your direction for this paragraph. So 2 things. Are we okay? You want 2 things with your topic sentence. What's the direction? That's the weird part. And weird what? Food at the fair, right? So you want to have us a topic, give us a topic, give us a direction for that topic. You want one more thing. So now I'm kind of toward the bottom of page 3. The third thing you want is not only to have a topic, not only to have a direction, but make sure it's small enough, right? Small enough that you can handle in anywhere from maybe a half a page to a page at the most. If you create a monster paragraph, people get lost, they get bored, it's a slog, it's really hard going. They don't want to do that. And so keep it short and snappy for them. So make sure your paragraph is not going to be too huge a topic. I gave you some examples here of what not to do. How about this one? My family is made up of a lot of crazy people. Ooh, a lot of crazy people. What does that sound like to you? Somebody's going to have to spend time talking about an aunt, an uncle, a cousin, another cousin, whatever it is. You have to cover a bunch of people there. And if you tell about how crazy they are, you're going to have to tell stories about each one of them. And do you see how long this is going to get? Better to focus on your crazy cousin, your crazy aunt, whatever it is. Just focus. Here's another example. I've had a lot of adventures with my car over the years. What's wrong with that? Over the years. You're the plural? Over the years. You have to cover several years of being with that car. And you said the words a lot again, which means you've got to cover all sorts of stuff. Way too much. Better to say, last week I had something happen to my car that was, horrific. Okay, now we've got to focus. Here's the third one that's a problem. High school was a lot of fun for me. Well, it's got your topic, high school, it's got the direction, fun, but what's the problem? High school is 4 years. That's a lot of material to cover. Better to talk about one event, maybe one prom that you went to, one football game you attended, one pep rally that you were part of, one graduation ceremony, but you don't want to do 4 years, okay? Well, let's try out examples here on the next page of ones that I gave you to have you think about whether they were good or bad. So I'm on the top of page 4. My mom had a unique way of waking me up when I was in high school. What do you think? My mom had a unique way of waking me up. How many ways? 1. So is this focus? Yeah. She did one thing, so we're going to hear about that one thing. I think that's a really good focus. Number 2, I watched 2 hours of television yesterday. Well, there's a topic, 2 hours of TV. It has no direction, does it? Even though it's limited, just the 2 hours, but there's no limit. As far as, what do you want to say? It was wonderful, it was mind-numbing, it entertained me, it frustrated me, I got infuriated. But we don't know from just that part of the topic sentence. How about number 3? Palomar College has a new planetarium. Well, it's not so new right now, but it's beautiful. It's one of those things where they project the stars and the planets and all, and you sit inside, but it feels like you're in the night sky. It's really terrific. Okay, well, let's read that one more time. Palomar College has a new planetarium. Fine, it does have a topic, the new planetarium, but you notice nothing is being said about it as far as impressive to go there, a show that made you awestruck, the instruments and how amazing they are, the way they work to project the sky. There's nothing there to give it a direction. Just, okay, I want to tell you about the planetarium, but there's way too much. How about number 4? I have a lot of bad habits. Uh-oh. That's pretty broad again, isn't it? I have a lot of bad habits. That'll take you pages. If you're like me anyway, I assume you have bad habits too. Better to pick one bad habit that you'd like to break. There's your topic, and then you can go on and talk about that in the paragraph. Number 5, if you're a sports person, the San Diego Padres have a good general manager. You may disagree, it's okay. If this is the topic sentence, can we stop for just a minute? Let me ask you, what do you think? Is that a good topic sentence? The Padres have a good general manager. Do you hear the word good? and it's not the entire Padres organization, it's one member of the Padres. It gives you the direction, it's limited, you know what the topic is about. I think that's a good topic sentence. Number 6, his cell phone has been a disappointment to him. Let me ask you again, what do you think? Good topic sentence? His cell phone has been a disappointment to him. How many cell phones? 1. How many people are we talking about? 1. Do we find out, so it's got to focus, what's the topic about? Cell phones, okay. Do we have a direction for this? Yeah, there's a key word there. Did you see that? What about his cell phone? It's been a disappointment, so this is no good. He's not happy with the cell phone. That's a good topic sentence. Number 7. She was excited about her upcoming vacation in Arizona. What do you think? She was excited about her upcoming vacation in Arizona. I think it's got 2 of the 3 qualities. Number 1, for a good topic sentence, you want a topic. There's a topic there, the vacation. Okay, so that's fine. It says she was looking forward to it, so now we know what's the direction. It must be kind of a neat vacation. What's the problem though? What are we missing here? It's covering a vacation. I mean, think about a vacation in Arizona. Well, it takes you a day to get there. It takes you a day back. You're only going to do that much driving if you're spending several days there. So we're talking maybe what, 4 or 5 days? You can't cover in one paragraph very effectively something that covers nearly a week in time. Better to say, I'm really looking forward to doing horseback riding in Arizona. I'm really looking forward to rafting down a river in Arizona. I'm really looking forward to the tennis match that I'll be part of in Arizona. Then you've got the focus. So you had the topic, you had the direction, you just didn't have the limitation there. Okay, so I'm going to stop at this point. I hope this is all clear. I gave you some intro material. We talked about a good topic sentence for your paragraph. Make sure it's got the topic. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to say about the topic? What direction, in other words, you want to take the paragraph. And number 3 is don't make it so big that it could eat up pages of your writing. Okay, so that's our first video together. But we're going to talk next about support in a paragraph, because a topic sentence is just launching it. What else do you need in a paragraph? So we'll talk about support, we'll talk about a good conclusion, we'll talk about essays coming up. So I hope this is helpful to you, and see you next time.